Xiao Yan, now at the level of a 1-star saint, created an astonishing spectacle in the falling star pavilion. He single-handedly annihilated 2 half-saints, Ban Sheng, saving Yao Lao, Queen Medusa, and everyone else. But just when he was about to finish off the last enemy, Gu Yu, the second Tianzuan of the Hall of Souls, a saint from the hall, suddenly intervened. What will be the outcome of this battle? It must be said that Xiao Yan's breakthrough into the saint class was a grand and earth-shaking event. His appearance at this level was also revealed, and it was quite impressive. Now Xiao Yan had stepped into the ranks of the continent's most powerful individuals, able to influence the power structure of the Douqi continent, and finally possessing the strength to protect his family and friends. Many wondered how the Gu clan would react upon learning that Xiao Yan had become a saint. It would certainly be interesting to see. Returning to the plot, just as Xiao Yan was about to reach Gu Yu, space suddenly tore apart and a black hand filled with dark aura appeared. Essentially, a saint from the Hun clan had broken through Xiao Yan's spatial blockade. Who could it be? Could it be Hun Mishan, the leader of the Hall of Souls himself? No. This time it was the first Tianzuan of the Hall who came to rescue the second Tianzuan. His power was close to that of a 2-star saint, making him a truly formidable opponent for Xiao Yan. With the appearance of that black hand, the heavens seemed to dim. Xiao Yan instantly became serious. His flame ring collided fiercely with the dark hand. In the trailer, we see Xiao Yan raise his hand, confronting the Saint of the Hall of Souls with the power of a single finger. This was Xiao Yan's first battle as a saint, and his opponent was none other than the first Tianzuan. The owner of the Black Hand was cautious as he released his beam of power. The two attacks collided and destroyed each other. In that instant, the Black Hand grabbed Gu Yu. The spatial crack rapidly expanded, and a suction force burst forth, pulling Gu Yu inside. Trying to escape? Xiao Yan's eyes turned cold as he saw Gu Yu being pulled away. Although he didn't understand why the Saint of the Hall of Souls refused to appear in person, he would not allow this man to save Gu Yu so easily. Xiao Yan took a few swift steps forward and pressed his finger against Gu Yu's body with lightning speed. Gu Yu's skin split apart instantly. The powerful Dou Qi protecting his body failed to stop the searing heat from invading him. As Xiao Yan created several bloody holes in Gu Yu's body, Gu Yu screamed in agony, his face turning deathly pale. How could Xiao Yan possibly let him go? He aimed another finger strike at Gu Yu's forehead. Had it landed, Gu Yu's head would have exploded like a melon. However, a hoarse old voice suddenly rang out from within the spatial rift. The Black Hand yanked Gu Yu by the shoulder, dragging him inside. At the same time, the mysterious saint extended a dark finger that clashed violently with Xiao Yan's. When their fingers met, a terrifying storm erupted at the point of contact. Space within 1,000 meters trembled and collapsed. Xiao Yan was forced to take several steps back from the impact. He stared coldly at the thick black hand. After a moment, the hand turned purplish-red, likely due to the heavenly flames effect. Boy, don't be too pleased with yourself. My Hun clan made the mistake of letting you grow this far, but don't think we'll fear you just because you've become a saint. If you wish to save your father, Xiao Zhan, then come to the Hun realm. I'll be waiting for you. With those words, the hand withdrew into the rift and vanished. Xiao Yan laughed coldly. Rest assured, sooner or later, I will come to the Hun realm. He didn't recklessly charge into the rift. No one doubted the power of the Hun clan. Even though Xiao Yan had become a saint, that didn't mean he could act without fear. In the past, his ancestor Xiao Xian, a peak 9-star saint, had still been defeated by the Hun clan leader. Xiao Yan, being only a 1-star saint, clearly had a long way to go. Indeed, the saint from the Hall of Souls didn't appear in person. He fought only from afar, unable to leave the hall itself. Although the first Tianzuan managed to save Gu Yu, Xiao Yan didn't let them go easily. With a dominant strike, he pierced several bloody holes into Gu Yu's body, leaving him gravely injured and barely alive. Gu Yu's wounds were severe, and it would take him a long time to recover. The next time he faced Xiao Yan, his end would be far worse. Xiao Yan's expression turned cold and indifferent as he stared at the spot where the rift had vanished. The Hun clan was truly extraordinary. Unexpectedly, the Saint of the Hall had managed to tear through the space Xiao Yan had sealed and rescue Gu Yu. Xiao Yan sensed that this opponent was at the peak of a 1-star saint, almost reaching 2-star level. Xiao Yan himself was only at the initial stage of the 1-star saint realm. He was somewhat weaker than the first Tianzuan, but with the heavenly flame, he didn't fear him, even if they fought head-on. Now that Xiao Yan had become a saint, the Han clan would no longer ignore him. But in that case, they would have to send a true saint-level expert. Xiao Yan turned to look at the disciples and elders of the Falling Star Pavilion. At that moment, all of them were shocked by the terrifying battle and silently stared at him in awe. He surveyed the entire star realm. All elders, return to your duties. Clean up this mess. Those who are injured, recover immediately. All disciples, return to your positions. Yes. Everyone responded respectfully and swiftly carried out his orders. After this battle, Xiao Yan's reputation in the Falling Star Pavilion undoubtedly soared to the heavens. The power of a true saint was enough to make everyone willingly obey. At that moment, Yao Lao, Queen Medusa, and the others were recovering thanks to healing pills. Xiao Yan quickly approached them. "Teacher, Queen Medusa, are you all right?" Yao Lao nodded, his eyes filled with satisfaction and pride. A bright smile spread across his face. The current Xiao Yan has finally surpassed his teacher. Time flies. This eagle had finally taken to the skies. At that moment, Xiao Yan had truly reached the pinnacle of the Dou-Qi continent. Yao Lao stood up, supported by Xiao Yan, and together they headed toward the main hall of the Falling Star Pavilion. There, Xiao Yan, Yao Lao, and the others gathered around the large table. Xiao Yan listened calmly as Xiao Yixian and Dou Zunfeng explained what had happened over the past 2 years, while he was in seclusion. When the Spirit River Alliance was mentioned, Xiao Yan's expression turned cold, especially after learning that the alliance had been formed by the enemies of the pavilion, including the Ice River Valley and the Wind and Lightning Pavilion. Xiao Yan then made his decision. Today, the old monster Tianming was killed. Most of the experts from the Spirit River Alliance have perished as well, so they won't pose a threat anymore. But if we don't retaliate, we'll seem weak. Once we settle the matters in the Star Realm, I will personally lead our forces to destroy them. None of the factions that joined the Spirit River Alliance will be spared. Why show mercy? If Xiao Yan had not emerged from his meditation in time, the Falling Star Pavilion, including Yao Lao, Queen Medusa, Xiao Yixian, and everyone else, would have been destroyed by the Spirit River Alliance. It is hard to imagine the tragedy that would have unfolded if that had happened. Xiao Yan's actions in response to such hostility were fully justified. Xiao Yan's vengeance would not be long in coming. This chapter marks a clear turning point. Xiao Yan's rise to saint not only elevates his personal power but also fundamentally shifts the balance of forces on the Dou-Qi continent. The Han clan's intervention and the display of near 2-star strength foreshadow a larger, inevitable clash that will test whether Xiao Yan's heavenly flame and growing resolve are enough against entrenched powers. Thank you all for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.